Okay, I just switched on the recording. Today we are speaking about the last key point within the process of creating of the strategy. Today we are discussing the type of the competitive strategy. And as you have to remember, the competitive strategy must have as the basic stone on it, of the strategy, must have sustainable competitive advantage. It means that what is competitive advantage? Competitive advantage means that we are doing something better compared with our rivals. And I do hope, and actually I'm stressing once again, we discussed this issue during the first lecture, but I'd like to stress once again that here the word sustainable means not connected with environment, not environmental competitive advantage. But the word sustainable also means like not only now but also for future. So it means that when creating a strategy, we are thinking not about the current, not only about the current moment, but we also have to think about the future of our company. And it means that uh, we have to set the competitive advantage not only for now, for the current moment, but for future. Uh, I do hope that you remember our first case when we discussed the flash memory card. We began our course from this case. And actually it could be a lot of roots of competitive advantage. Really, there are a lot of characteristics of competitive advantage. But if to summarize all possible ways of getting these prevalence over the rivals, we can say that generally there are just two types of competitive advantage. The first is to provide the product with better quality, and the second to provide the cheaper product. So generally, there are just two ways of competitive advantage. It's shortly better price or better quality. And if speaking about price, it's quite easy to understand these characteristics. It's just maybe we'll have to add maybe that it should be not the pure price, but the price with also some costs for delivery. But if speaking about quality, these characteristics is much more complicated, and also we discussed it in our first case. Generally, the quality of the product can be divided into three main types, into main functions, or I would say the functions which are concentrated on satisfying the basic need. So maybe you remember if we discussed the flash memory, the basic need is to store the bigger amount of information. Then it could be some additional functions. Maybe these functions are not very not connected with the basic need, but these functions can be also the satisfying of the needs by additional functions of the product or service can be also useful for some client. For example, maybe it is possible to use some, for example, if we have something in the can, maybe it is possible to use this can after for storage of some other product. And the last is product with support. It means that it doesn't it has no connection with the main product, but it could be also useful for clients. It could be some gifts or etc. And generally, what kind of competitive advantage must be chosen? And today, during this lecture, I will try to answer to these important questions. But we will discuss not only these two types of competitive advantages. When discussing the strategy, the types of the strategy, we will use the matrix which was provided by Thompson and Strickland. This is the matrix of strategies, and they decided to use the competitive advantage, the type of competitive advantage as the first dimension of the matrix. So it is like horizontal dimension of the matrix, but they added the second dimension, whether the company wishes to satisfy the needs of all the clients at some market, or whether the company would like to satisfy some part of the market, some segment, some niche of the market. Actually, the examples when a company is concentrated only at some niche of the market. Maybe you know the Yonex company. I know it because I like to play badminton, and also I like to watch some championships on badminton. And now it is possible on YouTube. And there are a lot of companies which produce the equipment for badminton, but the Yonex company, I think, is the best company. It is not a piece of advertising, believe me, but it's really it is really the truth. But this company, you must know, even if you are not playing or watching badminton, you know that this company produces also equipment for tennis, for big tennis, not table tennis, but big tennis. And also they are producing equipment for golf. So this company, Yonex company, is concentrated only on these three types of sports. That's all. So we can say that this company produces not different not the equipment for a lot of, or maybe even for all kinds of sport, like for example Nike company, but this company tries to satisfy only the particular segment of the market. So the two dimensions at these matrix you can see the horizontal dimension, sorry, is connected with the type of competitive advantage, and vertical dimension is connected with the part of the market. So if speaking about the broad satisfying the needs of all the markets, all the clients at the market. If speaking about lower cost, the example could be the Barabashovo market. Actually, at the Chinese part of Barabashovo market, it was. I'm sorry, I don't know what is now with Barabashovo market. I mean, I understand that it was damaged, but anyway, I know that it is operating now, at least some part of this market. So it is possible to buy there a lot of very cheap products. It could be clothes, it could be toys, etc. And if speaking about broad differentiation strategy, for example, under the trademark Mercedes, the company produces different types of cars. They are producing their cars with high quality, but in different segments of the market. A class for it's like cheapest, but not the cheapest, but the smallest. C class and A and S class for business. If speaking about the focused differentiation, maybe it is okay. It was my example, like Yonex company. So they produce the high quality products, but only for some piece of the market. And if speaking about the focused low-cost strategy, a low-cost strategy, let's say that it could be one small kiosk at Barabashovo market, or one small shop at Barabashovo market. So, for example, they are concentrated on very cheap toys for children. Here at this strategy you can see the fifth strategy, best cost provider. We will discuss it a little bit later today, but a little bit later. And I'd like to stress one very important thing. Actually, this is a classical way of presenting all the metrics, and I copied it from Thompson and Strickland strategic management, but I think it is better to use not lower cost but lower price, because students usually think that the company which uses the differentiation strategy, the company doesn't care about the costs. It does. It really does, you know. Can we say that Mercedes company doesn't care about the costs? No, it's not possible to say so, but we can say that the price of the product is not the price leadership is not the competitive advantage of the company. So thereafter, it's better to name this strategy not just lower cost strategy, but better price strategy. And in some books you can find this title or the strategies, but in bigger part of the managerial books they name the strategy as lower cost strategy. But I'm stressing one more time that it's a big mistake to say that if the company has the differentiation strategy, it doesn't care about the costs. It really does. So let's discuss the strategies. And here is here is the description, the text description of the strategies, but actually we discussed it. Let's begin with the low-cost provider strategy, or as I told you, it is better to say low-price strategy. Generally, this strategy can be used if there are a lot of companies, not companies, sorry, a lot of clients who are very price sensitive, for whom the price is the main characteristics of the product. And generally to implement this strategy, there are two ways. And the first is to do better the job than the rivals do. It means that we can organize the producing process with higher efficiency. So we can do better every link in value creating chain of the product. And the second possible way is just to delete something from value creating chain, some link. For example, if we are producing the cognac as an alcohol drink, actually the first way to decrease price is to organize better every link, every operation, every task. For example, to use not the usual lamps in all the storages, but to use LCD lamps, and it will lead to cut the price on electricity, to cut the costs on electricity. But we can also delete some parts, some links in the value creating chain. For example, according to the classical technology of producing all the cognac as a drink, alcohol drink, we have to our company has to put the spirit produced from grapes. It is the rule, only from grapes, and it must be put, alcohol, it must be put into the barrel made from oak. And after keeping the alcohol 5 or more years in the barrel, the alcohol gets the coloring, these like brown coloring, and okay, I could say even gold coloring, and these famous smell and taste. But there are a lot, and actually, if to use the barrel again, they actually it's better to use not to use every time the new barrel, but sometimes it is possible to use the same barrel, but it must be prepared because you know the coloring and the tasting is connected with the oak wood, and if everything was put into the cognac during the previous cycle, it's nothing to put into the alcohol into the second cycle. And but generally, you know, this classical technology is rather expensive. So there are two possible ways to remove expensive links from our chain. The first is to use classical technology, but to use, not actually classical technology, but at least to use the keep it to use the technology that the smell and the taste they come from the oak wood. So companies can put chips from wood, from oak wood into the alcohol, and in this case the companies can put the alcohol not into the oak barrels, but into the glass barrels or metal barrels. And the taste and the smell can be got from these small oak chips in these barrels. It is the first way of producing, but this technology is not so good because after the technology is used, the producer has to filter the drink, and when filtering the drink, the bigger part of the smell and taste is lost. But actually we are removing very expensive part from the value chain creating. We are removing the step that for every portion we have to use the new barrel made from oak. And at the second step of removing some expensive parts from the technology is just to use coloring, artificial coloring and artificial flavoring. Usually the color for coloring they are using the fried sugar, and actually you can check it. If you don't know, you can check, you can find, you can visit any supermarket, you can put from you can take from the you can take any bottle of cognac and from the shelf, and you can read what is written, and it is written that for coloring they're using just sugar, that's all. And flavoring, for flavoring they're using also some chemical elements, just this and this, all just chemical artificial flavoring. This is the second type of removing the expensive steps, very expensive links into within the value creating chain. When we can generally use this strategy. Actually, we will speak about different characteristics of the market in which it is better to use this strategy. But generally we can say that all the characteristics are interrelated and logically interdependent. The first, we can use this strategy that if the price competition at the market is especially vigorous. And where is it so? It is so when actually the products at the market are standardized. It means that they are almost identical. And where is it possible? It is possible only at the markets that there are just few ways to achieve product differentiation, or just no ways to achieve the product differentiation. And where is it so? It is. It can be seen at the markets where all the clients use the product almost in the same way. And also the strategy can be used, these characteristics is a little bit apart from the previous characteristics, the fifth one I mean. It means that it is a very good idea to use the strategy when the switching cost from one company to another company is very low. The second type of the strategy is the differentiation strategy. The strategy means that we are trying to persuade the client that our product is the best. The best by some characteristics. This lets us to set the premium price for our product. Generally, it also lets us to increase, us if we are using this strategy. It lets us to increase sales and to gain buyer loyalty, because the clients in the way of using this strategy, they are more have more ties with our company. Generally, when the strategy is attractive. And why this strategy is attractive? Actually, the strategy is attractive because it attracts the buyers from all the competitive forces within the model of 5 forces. Actually, it can protect our company from substitutes. Also, it can protect our company with new entries from the market. It makes our clients more dependent on our company. And also, if we are so competitive, the suppliers will fight for supplying us with the materials. When it is a good idea to use the differentiation strategy? Actually, the first answer can be that if it is not possible to use the low cost or low price strategy, it is better to use the differentiation strategy. So generally, I can say that all your companies, I wanted to say all your companies can use differentiation. No, not all your companies within the project of this year can use this strategy. Somebody can use, somebody not can, but have to use the another type of the strategy, the low price strategy. Okay, then so when it is possible, first, when there are a lot of ways of differentiate. So it means that there are a lot of characteristics, and it is possible for our company to play with the characteristics, to increase some characteristics. The second, when the needs of the clients are diverse, it means that there are a lot of different buyers with different needs. Then the third, then at the market the companies use this strategy, and the fourth, when there are very big speed of technology at this very market, and it is possible to produce new products, and that's why we can differentiate our production. You have to keep in mind that when implement this strategy, the cost for advertising will be much bigger compared with the previous strategy. Because if speaking about low cost strategy, when we are using low cost or lower price strategy, when we advertise our company, we are just saying, okay, buy our product, it is the cheapest, that's all. It is possible to say, because to say nothing about the characteristics, because the product is similar. Thereafter, there is no need to add some characteristics. And here we have to, here when we are advertising the differentiated product, we have to first of all we have to inform about the characteristics of some product, and then we have to persuade the client that the characteristics is really important for him or for her. It is also very important. So it means that the advertising will be bigger. We have to invest for the bigger time strategy, bigger time advertising, and it will be more expensive just because of this. So anyway, this strategy will be more expensive, not only because we have to produce different products, but also we have to inform our customers about these products. Thereafter, we have to invest more money, not only in the production cycle, but also into the marketing support of the product. The problems connected with differentiation are the following. The first is over-differentiating. It means that we are providing a very big amount of types of of the product, and a very big number. And that's why the production cost will be also very high. Then it can be a very big mistake to try to put very high price. And the third pitfall can be connected with stressing the need, stressing the characteristics which is not important for customer. Actually, for this purpose, I'd like to set this example with this port. Actually, maybe you remember that about, but it was rather old story, but maybe somebody remember that about 10 years ago, it was advertising campaign in subway, in Kharkiv subway, that the company, as far as I remember, Bitec, but I'm not sure. They produced the equipment presented at the picture, and the main idea was that there is a lamp in the pot. Yes, this blue, and this is the blue coloring of the light, and in the window you can watch the boiling process and etc. As for me, these characteristics, and to build the advertising campaign based at these very characteristic is rather stupid idea, because as for me, what is important? The important is that the material must be good, so the water after boiling must have no smell and no additional, no plastic smell or no plastic taste. Then it is good that if the pot has a big power, so it in this case it will take less time to boil the water. And then maybe it is good idea to have some sound when the water has been boiled, so then you hear zing zing. Okay, you know that it is possible to put the water into the cup, for example, if you are preparing the tea. And actually, to build the advertising campaign at these characteristics of the pot, as for me it is rather stupid thing. But I am stressing that I understand that there are a lot of people, we all are different, and maybe it is really important for somebody. Maybe it is so, but as for me it is the example of really stupid marketing campaign. Okay, the best cost provider. The best cost provider is just it means that it is not the mixing of the strategies, it is it means that we are providing the best quality, but not the best quality generally, but the best quality for this level of price. As the examples of the strategy can be used, IKEA company can be used, some Korean cars, so they are providing the best quality for this price. Can we say that the Korean cars the Korean cars are better compared with Japanese or German cars? No, definitely not. But can we say that for this price it is the best option? Yes, we can. Yes, we can. So this is the strategy for best cost provider. And switching to the second dimension, let's discuss the market niche strategies. Actually, we are using this strategy when it is possible to separate some clients uh, from other clients, some part of the clients of the market. It can be separated by geographic uniqueness, by special requirements, or by special product attributes. Okay, just a very funny example of segmentation of the market and using this strategy. Actually, for the last 5 or 6 years, even 10 years, we are using only the PowerPoint presentations during the presenting of the bachelor papers and of the master papers. But about 10 years ago, it was used the big paper screens, the big pieces of papers. Actually, okay, shame on me how to say plakat in English, I don't know. Okay, big paper screens, and usually students prepared the prepare the information on the small sheets of paper, A4, and in our university it was a company which bigger these small sheets of paper to the big paper presenting screens. So
Like posters.
like posters. Okay, posters. Thank you,
Mhm.
posters. Thank you. Yes, and actually, the need is very special. Very special. Actually, the need was used just for presenting the results of the bachelor or master papers, and actually the service was so unique that generally in these niche they didn't have any rival, any competitor. But life became little bit more difficult. We began to use the new technologies, and nowadays we switched to the completely to the PowerPoint presenting. Not only PowerPoint, but maybe there are a lot of programs for presenting. The PowerPoint is just the most like it is the most simple maybe, but there are a lot of other very interesting programs, applications, for example, Prezi. It is more interesting than a PowerPoint, but generally we are completely switched, and actually the company I don't know, I can say that became bankrupt, I can't say, but they stopped providing this service. They stopped providing this service. Generally, I'm stressing that when we are using this strategy, please keep in mind these metrics. Anyway, we are using the low-cost strategy or differentiation strategy. The only difference is that we are providing our goods or services not for all the market, but only for a part of the market. Generally, we can use this strategy if it is possible for us to provide the better cost of the better price or the better quality, but only for some clients at the market. When it is a good idea to use this strategy. First of all, when the part of the market, the niche is big enough to get a profit. Then it is a good idea to use the strategy. Then the strategy has growth potential. It is very good if the niche is not crucial for other competitors and when we have capabilities to serve this market. Generally, when we are, it is a good idea to use this strategy. First of all, when there are a lot of parts of the market and for other companies it is rather difficult to prepare the special proposition for every part of the market. Then it is possible to use this if nobody uses this strategy. And actually the third usually is the main driving force for using this strategy. It means that we do not have capabilities, resources to serve all of the market. In this case, it is possible to serve only part of the market. And generally, I think it is the main. When the strategy is rather risky. When, first of all, competitors want to serve the same market, then if the needs can be served by the standard product of the market, and when the segment, then the niche becomes so attractive for bigger companies and the companies want to enter the market. So the task for the last task is to choose the type of the strategy, and not only to choose the type of a strategy, but also how to say to prepare the to prove why the strategy is the best strategy for this very case. Okay, I'm stopping the lecture and we are coming back to discussion.